What up, folks? You're now tuned into the Stitch Sham Show. I am one half of the team, Sham Phoenix.
And I am the other half, Stitch Early.
And today is episode 31.
Yes.
There's a lot of stuff has happened in between 30 and 31.
Yeah, for real.
But the main thing that we're going to talk about,
Yes.
I really wish we had championship T-shirts. I thought about getting some.
gold.
I thought about
Yeah,
getting some and
yeah.
being like, yo, when we do episode 31, we should have them joints on.
Yeah.
But that didn't happen. So we wore the next best thing, which is being sponsored by Icon Nation.
Facts.
The Lakers are the. And it was funny because you remember how we were debating last episode, what the season when Adam Silver announced it, he didn't know what to say. He was like,
yeah, because he was like the 2019, 2020.
It's just the 2020
Yeah.
NBA champs. So I'm gonna just say they're the 2020 NBA champions.
Yeah, exactly.
They beat the Miami Heat 4-2.
Mm-hmm.
This is LeBron James' 4th title, the Lakers'
Yes.
17th title. Now they are now tied with the Boston Celtics,
yeah.
with the most NBA titles in for a franchise.
Mm-hmm. Rajon Rondo being the first
Rondo
to
be the
win
first
one.
to be able to
With
be
both.
with both
Yeah.
Lakers and Celtics.
Yep.
And
Dwight finally got his.
Dwight finally got his. AD finally got his
Yep.
first one. It was really a real team effort for Game 6. Everybody played really, really well. AD was a monster on the defensive end. He was just blocking everybody's shots.
And he had those moments where he played big.
He played big.
Where he was like, I never seen AD dunk as much, catching it down low and just like, yo, I'm just going up. Look who's guarding me.
It was great.
Yeah.
It was one of those things where you were like, yo, this is like super great. So congratulations to the LA Lakers. As we know, LeBron James was the Finals MVP.
Yep.
I mean, he was a beast. He was a monster
Every game,
all the time. The whole
triple doubles,
inside, outside.
Yeah, yep.
I mean, he really bullied the Heat.
Yeah, and you could tell the conditioning. I think LeBron James being there as many times as he's been there, I think we talked about it even during the series of he knows how to pace himself.
Yes.
Because there's times where you'll look and be like, man, he just don't look into it. And I feel that at those times it's him kind of like, all right, let me pace myself.
Yeah.
Because I know, or I see okay, I see where this is going. I see where this game is going. Let me pace myself, so that all my energy isn't, wasted. And I think with Jimmy Butler, you could tell that he was gassed. He was gassed.
He was gassed.
It caught up to him in Game 6 where it was just like, man, I don't have that other superstar.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That could pick up the slack for me.
Yeah. It just and the thing about Miami is they're a team of runs because every game the Lakers were in it still.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they still had a chance at some point in all 6 games to win. So shouts out to the Heat though. They played a great series.
Yeah, man. Because nobody had the Heat.
Yeah, nobody had the Heat.
Nobody was like, oh, the Heat is going to be in it was the Milwaukee Bucks and the LA Clippers was the overall consensus.
Yeah. Well, now the overall consensus is that Bam Adebayo and Giannis Antetokounmpo share an agent. So there's been some leaked conversation there saying
that the Heat are going to really push.
Heat are going to push to get Giannis
at the end of 2021.
To add him to the roster with the current roster they have now.
So I think that
would work.
Because I felt that
Giannis
needs to go with the 2 teams that I thought was either the Blazers or the Heat. The Heat, because the Heat is basically the Heat and the Bucks are pretty much the same team.
Yeah.
They have a shooter.
Yep.
And actually, they have a couple shooters. They have a big man, Robin Lopez.
Yeah.
And then they have their superstar.
Yeah.
Giannis, and then you have Jimmy Butler. I think if you put Giannis with Jimmy Butler,
that'd be
both two
rough.
That's gonna be. And then I think what it also does is Jimmy Butler will cover up some of Giannis's imperfections.
Yes.
The things that Giannis that we kind of saw exposed this year of, man, okay, the jump shot isn't quite there.
Yeah.
Those types of things, I think it'll give Giannis an opportunity to actually work on them outside and in the game and not have to just give me the ball and I got a freight train every time.
And Jimmy Butler produces shots for teammates.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He produced a lot of shots for Bam.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of the guys can curl off. A lot of the shooters can curl off. Like, I feel like Giannis would open the floor for the rest of the shooters. I feel like it would be a good fit. So that is some talk that's going on. But again, the Lakers are champions, and of course, you know what happens right after LeBron wins his fourth ring.
Hate
floodgates. The hate floodgates open.
You know what I'm saying?
Mo Spates, Kyrie probably a couple weeks prior to the finals. I mean, just Skip Bayless. The hate begins to start, and Nick Wright, who is it First Things First?
Yeah, first thing. First things
first. Nick Wright kind of played this little. It was a little. I don't know what you call it. It's like a test on some of the
like the other
panelists.
broadcasters.
So he says to them, they was like, "What did the finals do for Jimmy Butler?" And they were like, "Man, it really it elevated Jimmy Butler like." You know,
I didn't even see it, but I see where he's going.
He's like, so everyone's like, yeah, you know, like, well, he actually asked Chris Broussard, and he's like, yeah, you know, it elevated Jimmy Butler. Like, you know, we didn't know that Jimmy could play like this and da-da-da-da-da. And he's like, so Nick comes back and he's like, so losing the finals didn't hurt Jimmy Butler at all? It's because you guys act like it's the worst thing
if
you lose it, it's, and he's like, oh, but that's just for LeBron.
Yeah.
Like, for everyone else, you can lose the finals and gain something to your game or some notoriety, but for LeBron James, it's the worst thing ever. So, and that's exactly how I feel, because Skip went on to say that the Lakers won the championship because they avoided the Clippers, whom were up 3-1 on the Denver Nuggets, and then lost 4-3 to that same Denver Nuggets team.
And then the Denver Nuggets lost
4-1
to the Lakers.
Was it 4-1 or 4-2?
No, it was 4-1. Yeah, 4-1
to the Lakers.
Yeah, to the Lakers. So the Lakers avoided the Clippers.
Yeah.
Even though the Lakers were still there.
Yeah.
It would be I would think that the team that's not there was the one that avoided it.
That's all I'm saying.
That's just my thoughts. The team that's not there is the one. Like I wouldn't say the Heat avoided the Bucks.
No.
Because did the Heat play? Who played the Bucks?
No, they did. They played the Bucks.
So who did the Heat not play?
The Heat.
What's another team that was on there? Say it was Orlando.
Yeah.
Just say Orlando.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say the Heat avoided Orlando. No, because Orlando lost.
Yeah, like
they lost.
Like, come on, man. So the craziness that has ensued. Then it was the Danny Green shot. Like
he shouldn't have passed it. But then, like, I saw a lot of people pulling up. Like, well, I mean, Jordan passed the ball, you know, to other players also for the game-winning shot. And then when you even look at the play, like when you look at the aerial view of the play and you go,
7 people guarding LeBron.
Like they had the bench on LeBron.
From the bench came out to try to stop LeBron.
And Danny Green is literally just standing up
right
there by himself.
Like who? So you want him to take a crowded away layup?
You got to think the play before that, they took Caruso out and put Danny Green in specifically for that. For like, yo, if you have the open shot, I'm gonna kick it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's like that kind of led us to kind of start thinking just about things basketball related, but just overall. And really started thinking in the sense of it's crazy how sometimes how people look at things and there can only be one. There can only be one or the other. It's like in order for LeBron James to be great, Michael Jordan has to be trash.
Yeah, and that's not true.
Or in order for Michael Jordan to be great, LeBron James has to be trash and has to like not have killer instinct and all, which are not true. Like there can be two things that's true. Like Michael Jordan can be great and LeBron can be great also.
Yes.
Like they both can be true. And
I don't understand the greater argument. Like, especially when there's no real way to even prove it. Because they would have to play in their primes at the same time in the same league.
In order for you to say, oh, he's greater than him, in the sense of like Bill Russell has 11 rings, 11 championships. Yes. So that's just like saying, nah, Bill Russell is greater than everyone else just because he has 11 rings. I can't necessarily say that because they played at different times, different positions, different players,
and
different teammates.
Their games are different.
Yeah, their games are nothing alike.
And that's why I've always kind of frowned at the comparison because Mike wasn't asked to do what LeBron was asked to do.
Yeah, nah. They brought people in around Mike to do those other things.
Yes.
LeBron came in and it was like, well, you're going to pass, you're going to shoot, you're going to drive, you're going to post. You're going to do all of that. We may need you to guard all 5 positions. Like, we're going to do all of that. And I think it's a thing just in society where, Beyonce has to be terrible so Rihanna can be great.
Yeah, it's like
Rihanna has to be terrible so Beyonce can be great. You know what I mean? It's like you go through like Dave Chappelle has to not be good in order for Kevin Hart to be good.
Yeah.
Like, and it's one of those things to where you look at it, and I think even we were talking about it and just saying like, and it seems as if it's something like, especially in like when it comes to African Americans.
Yes, most definitely.
Where you look at it as sometimes like, man, only one comedian can be like the popping one at a time.
Yeah, and I don't understand why your preference can't just lead you to
what you grew up on, or what you listen to,
your environment.
Those
type of things all count. Like for me, I was younger as Jordan was making his ascension. I appreciated Jordan's game. I liked Jordan's game. I thought Jordan was dope, but my favorite player during that period of time first was Shaq, and then after Shaq was Allen Iverson. Like Jordan was, I liked him. I wouldn't say that I didn't like him, but I had more of an affinity for Shaq because he was more playful and fun loving, and you know what I'm saying. I was like, oh man, this is his personality kind of fits my personality. So, and then when Allen Iverson got in the league, it was less about the game. I don't put Michael at number one because of hating him. I put him at number one because to me, I didn't have a linking to him at all. Allen Iverson looked more like the people I knew around in my neighborhood, and I seen him play in person. I've only been to I think maybe 3 actual what you would consider college or professional basketball games. It was Georgetown versus Rutgers. I went to see the Wizards. Well, they were the Bullets then. I can't remember who they played. And then I think there was another Wizards game that I went to. So I haven't seen a lot of people live. I saw Allen Iverson play in college.
It was like, oh man.
It was just like, yo, this guy is 6 foot. He looked like somebody I went to school with.
Yeah.
I was like, this dude is amazing, right? So from that point on, I follow him. Same thing with LeBron James. We were in high school at the same time.
Like we saw LeBron James from the beginning of his career to now we're getting to the end of his career.
Yes.
And it's one of those things to where, like you said, I was born the year Jordan came in the league.
Yeah.
So I only remember the championship league years
that's
like
it.
That is what I remember. And I think sometimes I saw Doc Rivers has said it, and I was like, man, I had never thought about it like that. But it was one of those things to where it boasted the point that we had talked about before. And it was like when Jordan came into the league, there was no expectation.
None.
There was not one person in the world outside of Michael Jordan
that thought Michael Jordan would be
Michael Jordan is going to be Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
There was people that was like, man, he's going to be a
great player.
There's going to be. Whereas with LeBron James, it was, and I think that even allowed people in the league to go, nah, I seen this kid. Even other players, I seen this guy, Michael Jordan, he got good game. You know what I mean? Whereas with LeBron, the stamp was on him from the beginning. It's like he came in oh yeah, he's going to be the next one, the chosen one.
Where people were actually waiting for him to fail.
Exactly.
No one was waiting for Mike to fail.
Yeah, so it's so when Mike has the physical breakdown against the Detroit Pistons and they beat him down and he gets stronger, was like, yo, I will never let this happen to me again.
Yeah.
And this is his 6th or 7th year.
Yeah, this is probably about 89.
Yeah.
89?
So his 5th year, 5th, 6th year, this happens to him. He gets that pass for not being physically, mentally there, but physically not. Whereas and LeBron James is literally the flip side of that.
Yeah,
LeBron James was always physically there.
Yeah.
He was always physically there. And then he has his mental breakdown. you know, in his 7th year, where it's a mental breakdown, not a physical breakdown.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, Jordan would have never had a mental breakdown. Well, LeBron James would have never had a physical breakdown. And so you can't.
There's so many things that play into this conversation with Mike and LeBron and their attitudes towards basketball, right? Mike was cut in high school, so evidently he wasn't the best player all the time. LeBron was always the best dude.
LeBron was
on the floor.
Yeah, and I think we talked about that and how, like, I think even upbringing, in the sense of like LeBron not having siblings,
he's the only child.
so his team was, man, these are my brothers. I want to share with them.
Yes, I want to be a part of something.
Whereas you have, you know, a guy like Jordan, where you even look at his Hall of Fame speech, and it's like he brought the coach that cut him, like, just to be like, yo, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
You cut me.
Yeah,
like that's,
Mike is like, what, 50?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
He's going to be like, bro, you ain't let that go.
Exactly.
Yet.
And it's like with Mike, there's a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah.
Because it's like, nah, I was cut. Whereas LeBron, it's like, nah, I've always been the best. Like, so I try to make others around me better. You know what I mean? It's been that type of thing. So it's just funny to me. Like I said, I feel that both of them can be great. I feel that Michael Jordan is a great basketball player. I also feel that LeBron is a great basketball player. I feel that Nas is a great rapper. I also feel that Jay is a great rapper. Like, you know what I mean? One of them doesn't have to be terrible
for the other
one to be good.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing, like you said, with our culture sometimes, is that we have to crown just one person.
Yeah.
And I don't think that ever helps anything.
Nope.
Because it doesn't give any validity to anyone else. And it's like, well, if I say that Jay's the number one, then Nas got to be trash. Pop got to be trash. Biggie got to be trash. You're like, no, none of these guys are trash. These guys all present something to the world. And I think that's the thing. Like, we have to look at when people just offer something to basketball. LeBron offers something to basketball that Mike couldn't offer to basketball. Mike offers something to basketball that LeBron couldn't offer to basketball. But both of them are great.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Both of them are great.
Like, both of those things can be true. About
both of those things
without there having to be. It's like, I even look at like Kevin Hart and Mike Epps.
Yeah,
like you said, sometimes it's even us going back and forth with us, and it's like, do I think Mike Epps is funny? Yes. Is Kevin Hart funny? Yes.
Yes.
There's certain things I like about both of them, and then there's certain things where I'm like, nah, I'm good on that about both of them.
I don't like Mike Epps stand up. I think Mike Epps is funny in movies.
I think Mike Epps is funny in movies, and spur of the moment. Like, Mike Epps is funny how I feel Tracy Morgan is funny.
Yes.
Like, Tracy Morgan is like, you could throw him in the middle of a party and you know, like, it's gonna be nothing but nonstop laughter.
He's gonna say
because
crazy
it's just on the spot.
He's gonna be crazy.
More or less
this
than
dude
like,
is wild.
Here's an hour special. And let me listen to. Whereas Kevin Hart, I feel, can be very funny in those moments and also in the live moments. And then with Kevin Hart, sometimes it's the thing of like, you know how we talk about Drake sometimes, and it's like, man, you could take one Drake, verse, and you could really put it on any of his beats, and it goes with it because it's kind of like the same cadences and things like that. With Kevin Hart, I feel that way sometimes with his stand up, where it's like, okay, I know what I'm about to get. Like, I know what I'm about to get. Okay, all right, when am I going to get something like new?
But it doesn't take away from his greatness.
It doesn't take away from his greatness.
It's
like, I don't ever look.
It's just my preference.
Exactly.
To enjoying.
Whereas somebody else, like, I've seen people that have seen the latest stuff and was like, oh man, that joint was crazy. And for me, I was like, yeah, it was cool. Like, you know what I mean? Whereas like Dave Chappelle, on the other hand, I've seen people, I like a little bit of edge in my comedy.
Yes.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I like a little bit of like straddle the line.
Like, where I don't know where this is going.
Where I don't know where this is going. And I think some of the comedians that I end up laughing at are the comedians that, like, I always feel Dave Chappelle, like Andrew Schultz is another one. Like, that they're a person that makes fun of everybody.
Yeah.
And so because they make fun of everybody, Cat Williams is like that. Like, he'll make fun of himself and he'll make fun of black, white, gay, straight. Like, it doesn't matter. Anyone can get these jokes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that a person that can do that, for me, I like that type of comedy a little bit more than just the like straightforward same thing every single time. Like, I know you're gonna talk about your kids, I know all of those things, and I think sometimes there's that longing to want to know more about the person, you know what I mean, and not just like the the facade or the face value of everything.
Yeah, and that's why I say through this conversation that we had like right before we started the show is, why do you think it's so hard for two things to be acknowledged at the same time? Like, why is that such a difficult thing?
Yeah, I don't know, because
is it just people's need to be right? Is like is it fueled for the person's need to be right?
Because that's majority of the time when it's a debate.
Yeah,
most debates are like I always say, for lack of validation.
Yes, when you don't validate someone, you know what I mean? I think those are the things. I'm a Lupe Fiasco fan. Yeah,
you know what I mean? Sham is an MF Doom fan.
Yeah. I'm
also an MF Doom fan.
Yeah.
He's also a Lupe Fiasco fan. Yeah. So I've never heard him talk about MF Doom and I go, yeah, but like he don't be like hitting with the metaphors and
I'll be like
the hidden, like I don't need to do that, because I can go, yo, nah, like I love this.
See why you like
I love this about MF Doom. I do love that. Like he don't do what Lupe do, but he does that, and that's dope.
And I can understand why.
Exactly. And some people will be like, yeah, but he don't be doing what Lupe do, and just leave it at that, and don't even validate to where
we're not even talking about Lupe.
Now you feel like you got to stick up for Doom. Like
wait a minute.
What you're not gonna do is
Yeah.
Because there was no validation.
And I think that's the thing is like, as I've gotten older, I'm starting to understand that two things can be true. Mm-hmm. Now, when I was younger, I would argue you down that Allen Iverson's the best basketball player. Forget LeBron,
like,
forget Jordan, because Jordan got crossed by AI.
And that was me with Pippen.
Yeah.
Like with Pippen, it was like Jordan left and Pippen still almost got there.
Yeah.
And Jordan came back and they didn't win.
Yeah.
Like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like so it's like you'll always have arguments to debate with a person.
Yes.
Like anyone will find anything
yes.
to find. Like you could say, hey, LeBron has all of these statistics, and somebody be like, but he don't got killer instinct.
Yeah, you'd be like, all right.
Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, so someone will always find something with Allen Iverson. Like,
oh, listen, I don't even do it.
Yeah, it'll be like
I don't do it.
And you could easily be like, he was 5'11" doing what they do.
Yeah.
But if he was 6'9", I bet you he was 6. And then when you throw the ifs out there,
they be like, you don't got no ring.
They be like, no, but he don't got no ring though.
You be like,
we're not talking about ifs.
And that's when I could be like, all right.
You gotta chill.
I just gotta eat that.
You gotta just eat that joint. There. So it is one of those things like that. We were talking about, like, I could look at the sky and be like, man, it's sky blue.
Yeah.
And you could look and go, man, it's Carolina blue.
Or powder blue.
Any
one of them jumps.
We are both right.
Yeah.
Both of those statements are true. But I could also argue with you and be like, nah, because like Tar Heel blue is hashtag 33350. Like, you know what I mean? And really debate it. But you're just finding a reason to debate instead of just being like, nah, you're right in what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I'm also correct in what I'm saying. Like, there is no wrong in this
I wonder why that's
situation.
So
I don't know. I really think it's the validation part.
It has to be something like that, because outside of that, there's no other reason for it to happen.
Because no one wants to. I think the thing is, when you feel a way about something, like when you feel deep in your soul about something, like deep in your soul how you feel about AI, right? Yeah. If you say, man, AI is one of the best, like if you look how he transformed the game, tattoos, cornrows, like, and they put a dress code in for him. They changed the Palmer room because he was crossing Jordan, and you know what I mean? Things like that. You feel that deep in your heart. Is all you want someone to say is you want to know that you're not crazy in what you're thinking. Yeah. You want somebody to go like, oh, I see where you're coming from.
Yeah, that's it.
Even if a person
they can disagree.
Even if they disagree, if they go, I see where you're coming from. My thing with Jordan is, like, if it wasn't for Jordan, there might not be no AI to be able to make those changes because Jordan did X, Y, and Z. And I would have to eat that too. That's also true. And so, but I think where the issue comes is when the person looks at you and goes, nah, you're wrong. He didn't affect nothing. He didn't. And you're like,
yes, he did.
Do I need to show you what the league looked like before?
Yes, he did.
You know what I'm saying? Like that type of thing. So I really feel that it is
the league looked like plain clothes.
It did, yeah. Outside of Dennis Rodman, everybody else was regular. Was regular.
Yeah,
you saw all skin.
That's it.
You didn't see no words nowhere.
Nothing
on their jersey. That was the only thing you saw. After AI, you get the J.R. Smiths.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You get all of that. Brandon Ingrams.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I definitely feel that it is just us as human beings when we speak on things that we feel passionately about.
Mm-hmm.
Our thing is we just would like validation to know that, man, okay, I feel that what I'm saying is correct. And you're speaking to me and you can understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
You may not agree with where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
But you can go, man, I see where you're coming from though.
Yeah. And I think that's the biggest thing that I've learned is just to have some understanding in especially now, like I said, as you get older, you start to realize that two things can be true, that you can appreciate somebody for what they bring to the table without diminishing what they do in comparison with someone else. Like I say again, a lot of times when I'm defending LeBron, I'm defending LeBron because there's nobody defending him.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like in a conversation, he's getting destroyed, and like you got to step in and be like, "Well, wait a minute,
like hold up."
Let's pump the brakes.
We're not
gonna
gonna act like it's like he ain't did nothing.
Yeah, like
because that's what most people that talk about him just make it seem like he's done nothing. He's just 6'9" and big.
Franchises have restructured their entire rosters.
Son, what if the Cleveland, what's their name?
Cavaliers.
Cavaliers forgot their name because Brown ain't there. What's the Cleveland? I was about to say Browns.
I was like, all right, you play football.
You know
Like,
what have they done?
Nothing.
Every time he left, what have they done?
Yeah. Miami just got on track.
And they had to go get someone who is not talent-wise, but is a lot like LeBron in the sense of how he approaches the game.
He's a team first.
He's a team first type of guy, and then I'll get mine if I see it's needed for me to get mine. Jimmy Butler is very much that way, and I think that's why that team flourishes is because guys know if I get in position, he's gonna get me the ball.
Yeah. And that's what happened. That's exactly what happened.
You know what I mean? But I definitely think, you know what I mean, like you said, two things can be true, and I think a lot of times
I can like brownies and cookies.
And you don't have to hate,
but prefer to have a brownie.
And you don't have to hate on the cookies.
Like cookies,
they all flat. Like,
you know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
Brownies is all nice and tender.
Got the muffin top.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
And it's just so crazy.
Because
like even now, like for instance, I was having this conversation with my wife, and I was saying, before when I was doing music, it was about me dismantling all competition. I want to be better than everybody and everyone. Yeah. When I write a song or when I make a beat, I want to be.
When you hear this, it's gonna kill everybody.
Yes.
Like,
that was my energy when I was like 21, 22, 23. As now at 36, I'm like, yo, I just want to make stuff that I like to listen to.
I want to make the best music for me to listen to, and the hopes is that when I put this out, that you enjoy.
You'll enjoy it too. But if someone comes to me and says, Mark, I think you tried. I think you and Lorenzo are some great guys, but I just ain't rocking with it, then that's okay too.
I'm like, cool, because I think the fact of the matter is that everyone has different preferences.
Yeah, man.
I remember growing up, I remember when I moved to Japan. So I grew up in North Carolina. My family is from New York.
Yeah. So
a lot at that time, like North Carolina there wasn't no like Little Brother, like Petey Pablo wasn't yet.
It wasn't.
You know, so there wasn't like an artist in North Carolina that was like, oh man,
you can hang your hat on.
I can hang my hat on this person. So majority of the music that I listened to was, you know, up north music. You know what I'm saying?
Because you're from Wu-Tang. Yeah, you're from New York.
Yeah, Wu-Tang and stuff.
From New York.
Exactly. And then the only other thing I listened to outside of that was like the first tape, my uncle having a young uncle, like I was probably like 8 years old, and had Doggy Style and Ice Cube's Lethal Injection. Yeah. Like those are the first two tapes that I physically had.
That you had.
So when I moved to Japan, I remember one of my friends, Brandon, his brother Desi, is all Desi listened to. I thought Desi worked for No Limit, because it's all Desi listened to was Master P, Fiend, the Twins, Mia X, Silk the Shocker, C Murder. Like I could go Mystical.
That was his preference.
That was his preference. If you got in his car, you was pretty much in the No Limit tank.
Yeah.
Like if you got in his car, you was in the No Limit tank. He didn't play no other music except for No Limit. And I remember when I first heard it, it was like,
you're like, all right,
I'm not really rocking with this. Like, it don't sound like what I'm used to hearing. It don't. But that was his preference. You know what I'm saying? That was his preference. Now, after me being around it a while, there were certain people that I could pick. I like Fiend was one of my favorites. Like, because Fiend rapped like a New York dude, like in the sense of how he's putting words together. He just sound like he from down south.
Yeah, that's all.
You know what I'm saying? But I was able to find something. So there was never, I never was like, oh, this is some trash.
Yeah.
It was just, this isn't what I'm used to.
Yeah.
Because I normally listen to this because of the preference.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that allowed me, as far as musically, I think going to Japan, that's introduced me to DMX and Outkast and Marilyn Manson. So a lot of different music to where it opened me up to where it's like, oh man, like I could actually like all of this.
Yeah.
And none of this is the same. And I'm not looking at it as one is better than the other.
And to add like more to that, right? A lot of that variety came from the fact that you're an Army kid, right? So you're on an Army base where other Army kids, people from all over the world are
all
offering
different places. Yeah,
are offering
exactly.
something. You know,
it was in a sense like being in college.
Yeah,
like when you go to college, it's like you're seeing people from all different walks of life. So you might see something that you didn't know. Like I remember getting tapes from my friends in North Carolina and. When Han first came out.
Yeah.
You want them Jabot jeans, huh? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't know what no Jabot jeans
I was like, what is that?
You know what
I still didn't know what he was talking about because we weren't wearing that.
Because we weren't wearing it. Yeah, so like, and I didn't know it. Then I was like, oh, Jabot, that's the, okay.
And then after that came out, you started seeing those Jabot jeans
So I was
show
like,
up.
I don't know what that is. And then you like, oh man. But I actually like that. It was like, oh, this is kind of dope. And you start, so it opens you up. And I think at that point is when, you know, for me, realizing like, I could still like Jay-Z.
Yeah, you can.
And like Master P.
Yep.
Two totally different individuals.
But they offer something different.
But they offer something different. Like you said, they are. There's times where I'm at the crib and I throw my MF Doom record on. Because I want to hear MF Doom. And then there's times at the crib where I throw my Lil Brother record on.
Yeah.
Like, because I want to hear Lil Brother. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? I have a Goody Mob joint. Sometimes I throw Goody Mob on. Because I feel just in life, things are based off of how you feel in those moments. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's okay. Yeah,
because like you said, whatever you're introduced to, you can find a liking to something, especially if you listen to it enough. You can be like, well, all right, if I got to ride with this dude that only listens to No Limit every day, well, let me just listen.
Let me find something.
Let me just try and be like, so next time I get in the car, if I know it's got to be No Limit, I'll be like, yo, throw Fiend on.
Exactly. Yeah, at least let me throw on something
that I like.
But and then I think it opens you up to like, I think hearing like a No Limit and like a Outkast, it opens you up, you know, and then even like a Das Effects, like guys like that, ODB. It opens you up to a MF Doom. Yeah. It opens you up to hear when you hear something that's different than what you're used to. And I think for me, what it then did was it drew me to things that weren't like the norm. Yeah. It's like there were the things that like Jay-Z to me is the norm. Like Nas is the norm. Yeah. When you get to like Doom, that's different.
I don't know what this is.
When you get to like Camp Low, that's like different.
That's something different, yeah.
Like Camp Low, I'm still trying to figure out, you know what I'm saying? I get Crystal Kempington, Ice Rock Gritty, Carlito influence, Heat Flashes, Acapulco homicide scenes. Have no idea.
I don't know what that means.
I got a Rap Genius that.
Yeah, like, I don't know what that means.
What I'm saying?
I still don't
know. I know what one of the things mean because one of the things I found out in my younger days what it meant.
Oh, okay.
Crystal Kempington, I found out what that was.
Okay.
Like, you know
other than that, I didn't know.
But other than that, it was just like, this is just dope. I don't know what y'all talking about.
What's name raps like that kind of too? Currency raps like that a little bit.
Currency has like that. I have my own language.
Yeah, and you be like
type of thing. Yeah,
I don't know what he's saying, but the music sounds good and the words sounds
beautiful.
And that's like most of the stuff that's out now. Like for instance, biggest song out right now is WAP. It's the only thing people talk about.
Yeah.
Is it something that I would listen to on a regular basis? No.
Nah.
But can I say the song is terrible? No, I don't think the song is terrible. I think it's two women rapping about what they would normally do.
And it's for what it's for.
Yeah, it's like
I feel certain songs, there are certain songs that have bigger, greater meanings.
Yeah.
And then you have songs that are just what it's for.
Yeah.
Like when you hear Ludacris's "Move, Get Out the Way," that's just, hey, we in the club. Move, get out the way. Like
that's something what I would listen. Like I haven't listened to that song in
years.
In a long time.
Yeah, it's been
not saying that the song is bad. It's
Yeah.
just not something that fits into my
into
life.
Your
where
everyday. But then you'll have moments where you might be sitting and just be like, yo, I'm about to go listen to Chicken and Beer. Like, you know, where you're just
want to play a couple joints from
you might just throw a couple joints on because it's just like, this is how I'm feeling at the moment.
Just like right now, like my favorite rapper at the moment is Odyssey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's my favorite rapper right now.
Odyssey
He's the person that I listen to on repeat all the time.
Yeah, more than any other artist.
More than any other artist, because right now where I'm at in my current state of life, not saying that I'm against cursing or anything like that. I have said a few words myself.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
But when I'm listening to music, I just don't want to hear it at this point.
Yeah.
It's just something that I prefer at this moment. So I listen to Odyssey because he provides great lyrics and great music without the
vulgarity.
The vulgarity and the foul language. Not saying that.
And that's like the best thing in the sense of, like I said, The Good Fight.
Yes.
Is like,
probably
my top five albums ever. Man.
Yes, flawless
for me. Top 5, top 10 for sure.
Yes,
but top five. Me just saying off the top of my head, but top 10 for sure.
Yeah,
of an album that I can literally press play on at
any
song
day,
1, any day.
Season.
My daughter in the car, it don't matter.
Yes,
and I can just let that joint rock. Yeah. And I think, like I said, a lot of times it's not even like, oh man, he the most lyrical, or oh, it's the most metaphors. It's like, nah, it just fits something of where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes music is just that. It fits where you're at. Like when I lived in Japan, I was super rebellious. Like I almost got kicked out that joint. Like, and my favorite rapper at that time was DMX.
Yeah.
Like I know it's dark and hell is hot, like the back of my hand.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? But because at that time,
that energy was what you were looking for.
Now I wasn't killing people,
no,
and you know what I'm saying, robbing and stealing.
But it could help you.
But that joint helped me with the energy that I was for the things that I was doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
that's like what, like even like I can say probably like around like 98, 99, 2000 era. I was down for whatever was raucous, right?
Yeah, yup.
I didn't care what it was. Give me Talib. Give me Mos.
Yeah.
Give me all them
Eminem freestyles. Like,
because at the time I wasn't a drug dealer. I wasn't a thug. These dudes was rapping about stuff that I could think about.
I'm just trying to get by.
I'm just trying to get by. I'm just trying to make some money. Got my little job on the side.
Yeah.
They talked about girls. I can get down.
Yeah, Miss Fat Booty. You know what I'm saying?
All them joints. So that type of stuff, I was like, man, this stuff is just talking about how dope they are as MCs.
Yeah.
I could get behind that, where like Jay and them is talking about stuff that I'm just like, I'm not interested in champagne and
it's like, and I think that's the thing, the relatability.
Yeah.
Of certain things, and then like on the opposite side of that, it's like it's just a feeling. Like some joints was just like, I listened to the Locks, not based. It was just the Locks. It was a feeling that the Locks and the production of the Locks had. That was just, I don't know what it was about it, but like Style. I always say one of the most slept on albums, like Styles P's "Gangsta and a Gentleman."
Yeah,
like you can press play on that album and like let that album play straight through.
Yeah, that's a good
like
album.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and let it play straight through. Yeah, I'm not doing anything that is happening on that album, but it's like, man, it's just a feeling. It has a vibe to it, a feel to it.
Yeah.
So
like anything that Puff and them were doing back then. Like I wasn't the shiny suit type, but because I was a fan of basically sampled music, and Puff made samples out of pop, modern, top 40 hits from the 60s and 70s. I could get down with it. I was like,
oh man, how he gonna flip the next
one? Like this is tight. Like I can get with it. So I think the thing is, especially in this day and age, I think last episode we talked about the social dilemma and how they saying like people's opinions are being swayed and more scaled due to the content that they're taking in. Like I can find people that only think like me. So now I'm being fueled by that. And I feel like that's where our world is going. And I don't think that's a good place. Because like you said, because two things can be true.
Yeah. Like, and it doesn't just have to be one thing. Like it doesn't. So even for instance, so you take an Odyssey, who made the decision, I would say, within the last like 5 to 7 years to remove like cursing, the using of the N-word and things like that out of his music. Still talks about a lot of the stuff, some of the same topics and things that he talked about before, but just removing those things from it. So just how I listen to that for those reasons and because he's dope, you know what I mean? But it's the same reason why, like for me, like I prefer Tidal, because Tidal has all of the edited versions of the albums that I love. So it's like, so if I do want to hear something and my daughter is in the car, at this point in life, it's like, I could throw on this J album. I could throw on whatever I want to throw on. And, they got the edited version. Bet. I can rock out to this and still get what I want minus the extras. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So,
and I just think that if we can't find a common ground in certain things that we're going to start losing, like even in sports TV, like, you know what I mean? Like sports commentating or I guess what we call kind of like sports debate shows.
Sports debate shows, yeah.
Like it's starting to be to the point that I don't even want to watch a First Take. I don't want to watch a Undisputed. I don't want to watch a First Things First because it just seems like there's a I know this is going to sound funny because we're in a political season, but there's a far left and a far right.
Yeah. And it seems like a forced.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing about it. I think like it's different if like you feel away and I feel away.
Yeah.
Like, and you really feel strongly on something. But like when we're sitting down and I'm like, okay, how can I feel strongly the other way about this?
Yeah.
Like if you say Allen Iverson is like one of my favorite players, he's the greatest, and I go, man,
like, but he was small,
I see every single point that you're saying, but I'm just
gonna combat it just to
how
do
can
it?
I combat this so that our show can continue to propel?
That
I ain't got time. Because I think even when we sat to even do this show, like when we were like, all right, let's do a show, it was like, it wasn't a thing of like, we're going to agree on everything, we're going to disagree on everything. It was like, we're just going to have conversation.
Yeah,
whatever comes from that conversation comes from that conversation. But what we're not going to do, is I'm not going to be sitting here trying to find a way to refute
or discredit
what you're saying or discredit what you're saying. Yeah. Now, we may go, all right, let's play, the term devil's advocate. Yeah. And all right, so what if this happened? Yeah. What about this? Yeah. I think that's a total different thing from like, no, you're coming here because like you go to Undisputed because if they talk about LeBron, Shannon Sharp is going to be super pro. Yeah, and you can know that Skip is going to be super con.
And that's why I be kicking myself because in my mind, like even when he won the championship was won, the first thing that popped in my head was, what is Skip going to say?
What is Skip going to say tomorrow? And that's what everybody was posting. Yeah. Everybody was like, oh, what's Skip going to say tomorrow?
Yeah, and it's like, yo, am I being because you already am I being brainwashed to because I want to argue with Skip.
And that's why like I remember you hit me, was like, did you see? I was like, yo, I ain't even turned none of the joints. I was like, I already knew what it was gonna be, so I was like, I'm not even gonna turn.
I watched it. I made sure if I didn't watch it on TV, but I found the clip. I was like, let's see what he got to say, and it was exactly what I thought it would be. Yeah. And then in my mind, I was like, why am I watching it?
So I think too, when you just said the social dilemma, the thing that like popped in my head was, I feel that can be a factor in it too.
Oh, most definitely.
What we see a majority of the time. So you got to think. You take First Take. Mm-hmm. You take Undisputed. Mm-hmm. You take like The View. Yeah. The Real.
Yep.
So these are all shows that we're seeing that have multiple hosts, with different opinions, and 9 times out of 10, the opinion of each host.
Yes.
So their show is predicated upon there being a pro and there being a con.
Yes.
It's rare that you see, like, I don't really say highly questionable because a lot of times on highly questionable, it seems like the panel is just having a conversation.
But nobody's watching
and nobody really watches that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so on the big shows, it's like you have someone that's like, yo, I know what he's going to do and I know what he's going to do. And I feel that sometimes watching that, it ends up seeping into our regular life where we ourselves turn our regular life into a debate show where it's like, this isn't like, I wasn't even trying to debate with you. I was just trying to like say that I saw that.
And you'd be like,
I saw that your tank was on E. Yeah. Nah, my tank ain't on E. I drive my car all the time. Yeah. I know when it's on E. Yeah. I got at least 10 more miles out of. Hey, I'm just telling you what I saw. Yeah. Like, I'm not trying to have
and it's just the energy of competition. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like most people just want to be right. They don't even know why they want to be right. Yeah. They just want to be right because the world and sometimes ourselves, we tell ourselves that we're wrong. Right? And if somebody comes along and validates you being wrong, you're like, well, you don't get to validate me being wrong. So now I'm going to press the button to be right.
And some people pick and choose who they will allow to tell them they're wrong. Like, oh, no, you're not going to be the person.
Yeah, you're not going to be the person to tell me nothing.
Be wrong. Let me tell you about you.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So I think that ends up being a thing, too. So, so I definitely feel like within it all, like, just realizing that, like, yo, two things can be true.
Two things can be true,
and
man.
just even, I think, allowing for change and growth.
Yeah.
Like, I think allowing for change, because, like, what I'll see on some of them, too, like, a bunch of people had clips where you had one person saying one thing, like, at the beginning of the season saying, like, nah, I think the Clippers is going to take it all. Yeah. And then as the season went, it was like, yo, I think the Lakers is really going to pull this out. And it's like, you know that can, a person's mind can change.
It could have been that way.
It could have been.
It could have looked like they could have done that. Yeah,
it could have done that. And I think sometimes we also just don't allow people to grow. Like, I know this last week, a bunch of clips came out about Charlemagne.
Yeah.
And it was like clips from like the past 10 years, like on the Breakfast Club. You know, he used to just do antic type stuff like, oh, I'm gonna smell J-Lo's seed, or you know, just different things like that. And people are like pulling those clips up, but pulling them up out of context.
Yeah.
Because now we can cut.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We got a lot of stuff.
We have a lot of stuff that we can cut out, and you say something and somebody can make that joint look, you know, crazy.
Yeah.
And, you know, I always say, like, in the public eye, one of the biggest people that I think is like, should be like the poster child that like a person can change is Charlemagne.
Yeah.
And it's because I remember Charlemagne when he was on the Wendy Williams show. Like, that was my first introduction. And his thing was, oh, how do I push the button?
Yeah.
Like, I have to push the button.
Yeah.
I have to get this to go viral before viral was viral.
Yeah.
I have to get people talking.
It'll bring notoriety for me to talk in this manner.
So I'm going to talk crazy in order to bring notoriety. And then you saw that kind of slowly change, or him do it in a less derogatory way. And you kind of saw like the evolution of this person who, like I said, you agree with him sometimes, you disagree with him sometimes, but seeing the evolution of like the dude that I saw on the Wendy Williams show and then at the beginning of the Breakfast Club to what it is now, you know what I mean? You can see kind of like that evolution, that change. Like Joe Budden is another one where you see, I remember Joe Budden in the beginning.
Yeah.
Like, and you see that kind of evolution, that change. And I think sometimes we don't allow people the room for change, or the room to grow, you know, in the sense of still looking at, oh, well, you did this 5 years ago.
Well, I think that's the thing. Like, I think when it comes to that case where like a person may have offended you or done something to you, there's always this saying like, believe who the person is the first time they show you.
Yeah.
And there is some truth
There's
to that.
some truth to that, yeah.
And this is why we say like two things can be true, but there is some truth that people can change. People can,
like,
and can turn over a new leaf. I just think sometimes, especially when you've been hurt by somebody, the trust factor is what keeps you from thinking that someone can change.
Yeah. And then I think too, the pedestal factor.
Yeah.
Like we had talked about this before, like, because I see like with Ice, the thing going on with Ice Cube, like I don't know too much about it.
Yeah.
So like I'm not gonna speak on it heavy, but I just know that
I know he's like working with some Trump advisors. So I don't know if he's working directly with Trump.
So yeah, so
Trump advisors.
Yeah, they said the Democratic Party and the Republican Party reached out to him.
Yeah.
I think it's like an initiative or something that he was trying to get passed. I believe y'all got to look it up yourselves.
It's working on a plan for Black America.
Yeah.
Per whomever gets the presidency.
Yeah. So the Democrats reached out, and when he talked to them about it, they was like, "Well, once we get in, then we'll talk about it then."
Yeah.
The Republican side said,
"No, we can talk about it now.
We can talk about it now. Let's see if we can try to implement something." So he went to talk with them, and I guess some changes or whatever happened in something that they were passed. And then there was the uproar of, "You made F the police.
Yeah.
How could you meet with, the Trump side of things and things of that nature with not even It goes to like the Jay-Z.
Oh, I was getting ready to say that.
Oh,
I literally was getting ready to say that
without even like
knowing exactly what he was trying to do.
It's like
we just jump out. We jump to conclusions.
We automatically jump to conclusions just because we see what we would do or what we feel and not know. Man, I don't know the inner workings of this.
Yeah.
And so that's why I said for me, like, I don't know the inner workings. I only know what the face value of it is of what I've been told.
Yeah.
But I don't know what Ice Cube's reasonings for doing it. I don't know what they said that they would do. I don't. Yeah. What I do know is that Ice Cube didn't just go up to the White House and just take a picture.
No.
These were actual things like he's trying to get implemented.
At first, I thought you were taking a shot at Kanye. I was like, did you just take a shot at Kanye? And that, but you know what's crazy though? But that's where we are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Ice Cube talking with a Trump advisor is a shot to the entire black community.
No, and did you see what everybody said? They were like first Kanye, now Ice Cube, and I'm like, those are two different things. Like, those are not the same thing, man. That's not the same thing.
It's not the same thing, and I think that's the thing. Like with where we are, I just hope that at some point in time we can realize that we're there and start making adjustments to. Not saying you have to agree with everything, or even be open to everything.
Yeah.
But at least hear things out
exactly,
and try to get if not an extreme understanding, a small understanding of
to at least just know.
That's it.
To where even at the end of the day, like I never want to say I agree or disagree with something that I don't know. Yeah. Like, and I'll equate it to like food. Like if you were to come to me and be like, "Hey Zoe, yo, I got this kumquat salad.
You probably
want it?"
Probably not going.
Like I might be like, nah, I'm good. But what I can't say is I hate kumquat.
Yeah.
I've never had kumquat before. So I can't necessarily give you my opinion on it because I haven't eaten it. Yeah. Now, once I taste it,
they're like, you want these quail
and
burgers?
I go,
be like, nah, bro.
Like, yo, I ain't never
I've never had quail. They be like, now, if I decide to, you know what I'm saying? Like
to try it
and
go,
I don't like this.
Exactly.
Or I don't like it.
Now the next time somebody brings it to you, you can go, nah, I don't really like that. Too gamey for me.
Yeah.
How you know that? Tried it before. I wasn't really rocking with it. So because now you have information on it. But if I don't have information on it, I feel nowadays, and I seen somebody said it the other day, was like it was actually in battle rap, and it was a headline. And it was like the URL signed a deal with Caffeine, and the headline was it was for like 40 million or 13 million or something like that. That was the headline. But what I feel a lot of people didn't do, and there was a show I was watching and they were talking about the actual article.
Yeah.
And Mickey Fax was on it. And Mickey Fax was like, nowadays people just read headlines, but then don't go and actually get
they're not going to get the rest of the information.
Yeah,
not they're going to get
they just look at the packaging.
Yeah.
And he was like, if you read the packaging, they didn't get no 100. It talks about like what they got in the breakdown and how this will open up for future monies and things of that nature. But nowadays we just see Ice Cube works with Donald Trump, and it's like Ice Cube working with Trump. Oh, he just like Kanye.
Didn't he make Friday?
Didn't he make F the Police?
Yeah,
and you automatically start running as like did you actually go? And so that's why when I saw it, I was like, yo, let me go find a couple articles and let me try to read up on this. And I got a little information, but I didn't get enough to be like sit here.
I don't think there was enough to even be said.
For me to be like, nah, I don't agree with what Cube did, or I agree. So it's like we have to stop, and like you said, it ties in with the social dilemma, because I think that is where we're at. We're scrolling so quickly that we read something and we take it at face value and could have missed the whole thing. Like the whole thing. You know what I mean? So I think that's definitely like somebody could take that clip and be like, you know what I'm saying? Stitch and Sham Show, this is Kanye West.
And you be like,
and then you go listen to the show, you be like,
that's not what
they just talked about him. Like,
no one dissed him.
Nobody dissed him.
But that's where we're at, though.
That is exactly
like
where we're at.
I was watching a clip of JJ Redick's podcast came on with Jimmy Butler.
Okay.
And Jimmy was like, if you look at how the media is talking about me, when I got there, you probably thought that I was a butthole.
Yeah.
Like, you probably thought that.
And even JJ Redick was like, just off of what I saw, like I thought that I was like, man, this dude is gonna be, because he was like, I was going off of what the media has said. Then I met you,
and I was like, ain't nothing like
this
that.
dude is nothing like.
Yeah, so that's the thing. That's the thing, man.
Yeah.
I think as you grow and mature, like you said, two things can be true. Somebody could be very much the same and grow at the same time and be different.
Yes.
I think we're not one-dimensional people.
Nope.
and to ask for one-dimensional things from a group of individuals that are made up of 4, 3, 5, 6 dimensions.
Yeah.
It's
just unrealistic.
It's unrealistic, and you're going to get those type of results every time if that's the expectation for you just to be one way.
Exactly. Nah,
you know,
I agree.
I'm definitely not one way. Sometimes I could be very energetic. Sometimes I could be real laid back.
Sometimes I'm a jerk.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm the nicest person in the world.
Yeah, it all depends. So I think as time is spanning on, I hope that we can get a grip on that because I just feel like it'll send our society into a dangerous place.
Yeah.
If we're only functioning in one, like I said, in one dimension.
Yeah.
It just, it doesn't look good for sports. It doesn't look good for music.
Nah.
It doesn't look good for relationships. All the things that are woven into the fabric of how we live our lives should have some diversity to them. Should have some far left, far right. If that's
some wiggle room.
Yeah, you know
I think we have to give people wiggle room, for a lack of a better term, in the sense of we can't pigeonhole any one person to just one thing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. We can't just say like, oh nah, he's this way, and just because he goes over a little bit to the right, then you go, nah, oh that killed everything that he was about. It's like nah, like. We're all human beings and we're all very complex beings.
Yeah.
And that may differ from how it is on the outside, but inside we're all very complex. You know what I mean? We all have our things that are great about us. We all have things we're working on. We all have things that are horrible about us.
Yeah.
So it has to definitely you have to allow people and give people room to grow. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And also give people room to fail.
Man.
Because I think we hold people to a standard that we feel they should be at. Yeah. And then when they don't meet that, we
fall apart.
We fall apart or we cancel them.
Yeah.
Because they didn't I always go, nah, do I want to cancel Kanye? Nah, I don't want to cancel Kanye. Because first off, I have no room in life to cancel Kanye. Yeah. I was like, but
I think some of the stuff he does is crazy.
Yeah, I feel that. Do I disagree with some of the stuff he does? Yeah. Yes.
But I also agree with some things he says also.
I also agree with some things that he says. Yeah. And some things I realize, sometimes you have to look at a person and go, man, you're just not good at speaking.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to really point out the thing and go, you just don't know how to put words together well when it comes to speaking. Because there's some people, I'll hear what they say. I always say, when I listen to anyone who listens to Dame Dash, if you don't know Dame Dash, you could listen to Dame Dash and you could be offended. You could be like, who is this jerk and who are you telling me?
Yeah.
You could feel that way. For me, when I listen to Dame Dash, I strip away all of the extras.
Yeah.
And I go right to the what are you saying? And I think there's some people you have to do that with. You have to take away the extras. And when you look at it, you'll go, yo, you're actually saying something.
And he did. Dame has said some things that
a
are
lot
very
of stuff
vital,
that's and Dame has said a lot of stuff years ago that now
it's just now
starting to pop up, but because there are people who are in position that can speak to you the way that you like being spoken to, and because you know that, there's jokes that I can say around Mark.
Yeah.
That if I said around somebody else, they would probably be like, yo, you are a jerk.
Why would you say that?
Why would you even say that? What? But if I say it to him, he's gonna laugh because he knows my humor.
Yeah.
He knows my humor.
I know you don't mean anything. You're not it's not
there's
malicious.
Things that he can say around me and we've said it before.
Yeah.
We've literally been talking before and been like I would never say this publicly.
If I say this out loud,
because they would probably kill me.
Yeah.
But, son.
But this is how I feel. Yes.
You know what I mean? So it's you have to know. Some people have that switch and some people don't. Some people know how to publicly formulate a complete idea.
Yeah.
And then some people, they have to work through it publicly to get to the idea.
Yeah.
And sometimes when we sit and we're listening, we don't like to move the mess around to get
we don't want to
the
That's
treasure.
Too much.
Yeah, we don't want to work for the treasure. We don't want to dig through all of that. Just give me the diamonds.
Yeah.
We just want the gems. And sometimes with Kanye, you gotta do some digging. You gotta dig, you gotta get dirty, and then you be like, oh, it wasn't.
Oh, that's what he meant.
It was a little nugget right there.
Man.
That's what he meant.
That's what's up.
That's how I feel sometimes.
All
right, let me move this dirt back. I ain't gonna put him out there. And I feel that's how it is with Kanye sometimes. It's just you're gonna get dirty,
Yeah.
But if you look deep enough, you'll find something.
Yeah.
Like
I said, I just hope that we can really get to a point to where, like you said, we can start moving some mess around and start picking out some things, and not be so judgmental and so canceling.
Just like kick the whole treasure in the ocean.
Yeah, like so quickly.
Yeah.
Because it's almost getting to a point to where no one can make a mistake.
Yeah.
And I don't think we want to be in a world where no one can make a mistake.
Because I think that you should give people the same grace that you would want to receive.
Yeah.
And
speaking of giving people the same grace that you want to receive, we would be really happy if you graced our Patreon.
Yes.
If you go to patreon.com/UHRISE, you can give to us and help us continue to build content. And like in the coming weeks, we've been like working on a new album or a new EP, a new project. We got a bunch of different visual projects kind of in the works. If you guys follow us on social media, you'll see Zoe has put up some of the new collection. We got it on right now. There's a lot of things that we're trying to do.
UHRISE has we have some UHRISE merch that we're collaborating with Icon Nation with that we have coming. And really on the Patreon, like we're gonna start putting like music projects on the Patreon to where like you'll only be able to get this if you go to the Patreon, like full projects. That you'll only be able to get if you come to Patreon. Extra episodes, behind the scenes, you know, things like that. So like we always talk about, you know, we thank y'all for just supporting, for watching the episodes,
being encouraging
us, you know what I mean, giving us different pointers, telling us what y'all want to hear about. So we're definitely just continuing to try to grow the platform and give you all as much great content as we can as we continue to move forward and build it.
Yep. Like we said again, we have some music. If you go to UHRISEmusic.com, there's some projects there. There's a project from the UHRISE Collective, which is me and Stitch Early. And we have a project there right now called Black Gold. You can check that out. Like I said, we just been working on a bunch of things, and it's because of you guys supporting us that we're able to do that. So we thank you. We really appreciate you guys kicking it with us.
Yeah, for real. That's really what it is. Like,
it's like just hanging
these
with
just
us.
kicking it sessions.
Yeah. And it's so crazy because like I was telling him, like, we put the videos up and then like our friends, our family be like, man, I was watching it, and be like, and like they're engulfed in the conversation themselves. So it's just, you know, just super dope. So we thank you guys. You got something? You got one thing?
And so there's a segment that we started doing. We did our first one with Nikki Teasley.
Yes.
And it's called the Give and Go segment that we do, and we'll do, you know, once a month Give and Go with different athletes and things from the Frederick area, and then branching out from there. So that will be coming back soon. Like, we're in talks with a couple people right now, just trying to lock in some dates.
Okay.
So maybe by next week, you know, we'll have some names.
Okay, yeah,
that,
man.
Know, we can throw out there of some people that y'all know, some Frederick legends out here.
Yeah. So I mean, we got a lot of content that we're kind of working on, shorts, all types of things that we've just been just kind of talking about. So again, your support is very necessary to those things. Man, I don't even know what to say because at this point it's like. We're in a real good space as a start man, like, of a company.
To be 31 episodes in, and I remember being on the first one, like, and being like,
"Oh, bro, it was that was a rough week, man."
Like, yo, I lost the footage.
I don't think we had another episode. Like, it was like 2 weeks before we did another episode because we were trying to figure out what
we did. So many test episodes to try to figure things out.
We started off live. We did our like what you would call like a pilot kind of live. Yeah. So it was we've been through a lot of things with this. So at this point, to even be sitting here talking about all the other things that we're getting ready to do is just super exciting, and we hope it's super exciting for you guys too. So we thank you guys for tuning in to the Stitch and Sham Show. I've been Sham Phoenix.
I'm Stitch Early,
and that is it.
Peace.